everyone, how you doing today? My name's Kirsty, aka Beth Bookish. While I was going through every single book I own, as you can see through these piles, so that I can collate a recommendation list for you for Adventurer-a-thon, I thought I would take it as an opportunity to really scrutinise my books, go through and kind of like Ren did recently, curate my books and just be like, do I actually want to read these, or have I just held on to them for no real reason? So yeah, let's go through all of my books, all of my shelves. I'm not going to physically go through them on camera, I will just show you some clips of me going through them, and let's try and find some books that I can unhaul while I do all these videos. Okay, I'm back, and I have been through all of my shelves, and I have two piles. I have a big pile of books, well, not a big pile, but I have a reasonable stack of books that I have decided I am not interested in, and a couple of these are actually ones that I was in the middle of reading before I decided, no, I'm not actually going to go back to them, I'm not interested. One of them really hurts because it was a birthday present, so I'm like, I'll probably hold on to it because it was a birthday present, but the rest of them are pretty much ones I bought myself. And then I ended up with a second stack of books that were ones that I'm kind of on the fence. I'm 50-50, not too sure. So I have written those down as being books for my self-destruct for next year, because if I don't get to them by the end of next year, I'll get rid of them. So I'm going to start off with the ones that I think are potentially going to end up on my self-destruct list for next year, if I don't get to them this year, because you never know, I might pick some up. And for this we have Daughter of Darkness by Kat and Liz Core. I was sent this by the publishers when I created some candles for, I did some wax melts for a book box last year for Paper Orange. And so they sent me a complimentary copy of the book so I could read the book to help with inspiration, but I never actually got around to reading the book because the descriptions I got from the authors and the support the authors gave me was enough, and I didn't need the book in the end. And when I did try to read it, I was struggling. So this one will probably go on self-destruct. We have An Arc of the Sun That Moves the Sun by Anna Bright. I did start this, I only got 2 pages in. And I don't know why, I just, every time I pick it up, I then get put off by it, and I don't really get why. So that's a potential. We have The Boneless Mercies. I picked this up for £1 last year for my birthday, so it's been on my shelf a year and a half already. But every time I go to put it on an unhaul list, something stops me and I rethink. We have Here There Are Monsters. This one did get unhauled in February, but then there were a few books that I decided to pull back out that I wanted to give a go. Of those books, I have decided one is a complete no-no now and will be on the getting rid of list. But this one is going to be a 50-50, I'm not too sure, but I am intrigued enough to try. Song of Race and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. This book, I got the Fairy Loot edition. I then sold the Fairy Loot edition. I then saw it in a charity shop and picked it up. I then took it back to the charity shop, and then I've bought it again. So it is a book that constantly keeps coming on and off my shelves. So this time I am putting it on a destruct list, and it has to be read. The Death of Vivek OG, I'm keeping hold of it for now because it's quite short and it is very topical, dealing with transgender issues. it's just because I don't tend to read those kind of books very often, you know, sort of hard-hitting, real life situation. I do tend to read fantasy or more sort of to escape the world and its problems rather than to deliberately read about it. So that's why I'm 50-50 with this one, but I feel like it's going to have a really big impact. Shadows on the Moon by Zoe Marriott I picked up in a charity shop, and I'm still kind of intrigued because it's very Japanese inspired. It's a retelling, which I love, but I'm just worried that maybe it's going to be a bit too on the YA side and maybe not quite up to my preference. We shall see. And then the final one, probably a shock to a lot of people, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I know loads of people love this, but honestly, I cannot bring myself to read it. However, the fact that it's in second person and you very rarely get books that are written in that point of view intrigues me enough that I at least want to try it. So that's why I haven't outright decided to unhaul it. And then as for the unhauls, I'm going to start off with the one that is the more painful one because obviously it was a gift. But we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I am 150 pages in and I'm bored. I can't tell you what the story is about. I just know that every time I put it down, I struggle to pick it back up again. And even when I have picked it up, I feel like I'll read for half an hour and I only read 10 pages and I'm like, oh my God. And so obviously Heart of the Sun Warrior, that was a birthday present from Charlotte at Clumsy Charlotte. And I hate that I now have no intention of picking it up, and I regret putting it on my wish list before I'd finished this one. But I thought I was going to love this series so much. I thought from the writing that it was going to be incredible and I was going to fall in love with it. And I just haven't. I apologise. You can hear my neighbour's dogs in the background. So unfortunately these will be going on an unhaul. I might keep this one, like I said, because it's nostalgia and someone bought it for me. But Daughter of the Moon Goddess is being unhauled. I don't have the cover for this one, it's downstairs, but God of Neverland, I started it, I read 30 pages in, I was bored shitless, and I've heard a lot that it was very queer-baity, and there is not in fact a queer relationship, which is what I kind of got it for, so I'm not interested now. I have a charity shop book, and that was the one that Stole My Life by Marion Keyes. I've realised I'm just not interested. Another one that might shock a few people, Assassin's Apprentice, Robin Hobb. I know I've tried to read this book 3 or 4 times, and it's been on countless lists and things, and I've never gotten around to it. I don't think I'm going to get round to it. Unhaul. I have realised there's quite a few queer books here, but I think I know why I've picked them. It's because they're like YA and I'm just not a YA person anymore. So these books that I've picked, I've got 4 of them, and those are The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School, which is really annoying because I only won this in a giveaway last month, but after I got it I realised I don't actually have an interest in it and YA contemporary romance anymore. And we also have Felix Ever After, which is another one where I kind of really want to read it because it's topical and it's got the trans issues, but at the same time I really do not care about YA romance anymore. I have an arc of Hideous Beauty by William Hussey that I got about 3-4 years ago, and I just... part of me wants to try it because it's under 300 pages, but I'm also like, do I really? And then The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp. I only picked this one up because I saw that it's going to be a movie with Millie Bobby Brown, and I love Millie Bobby Brown. But again, I'm just not interested. And I'm not really a big fan of heist things anyway. Sticking with the YA, I've got a few more. I've got Beasts of Prey, which was on the unhaul, and then I thought I'd give it a go, but I've decided actually I'm just not interested. I have Malice by Heather Walter that I was really excited for when I got it, and now I've realised I just don't have much of an interest. And even when I opened it to start reading it earlier just to see if maybe the writing, it just felt very, the sort of page that I read, I was like, it seems quite bland, generic writing. So that's on the don't care. We have The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed. If I'm going to read a book set in Los Angeles during the 90s, I've read The Freedom Writer's Diary and I feel like that was fantastic. So I really don't feel like I need to read any more books around that topic. We then have Homegoing by Yag Yassi. This one is similar to Death of Vivek Oji in that I feel it's just not my kind of genre. It's not really my style. I picked it up for a reading club that I was in last year. I read the first 10 pages and it just did not hook me. And yeah, it just, intergenerational stories in general don't interest me very much. I just gave up and I have no interest in going back to it. Then we have Raybearer by Georgia Nifweko. It's beautiful, it's a gorgeous cover. 3-4 years ago I would have devoured this, but I bought this at least 2 years ago and I've never once sort of considered putting it on any of my TBRs. So I'm like, well, I'd rather it go to someone who is going to read it. And then finally, I'm sorry if Eric, if you watch this, I'm sorry. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I think I read the first chapter. I didn't enjoy it. I did not like the fact that we instantly start with the woman dying to further the man's story. Just not my thing. And I've heard enough things about this book that people don't like that I know I don't think I'm going to enjoy this book. So it's going. I have a few more that I'm kind of on the fence about, but have had enough positive things from people and have had enough people tell me to read it for me to not give up on it. So we have Gideon the Ninth, I've got the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Those are all ones where I was a little bit 50-50, but enough people have persuaded me to keep those on the shelves for now. So I might reevaluate that next year. Are there any on this list that you think I am stupid getting rid of, and knowing my reading tastes, you're like, no, you need to go back and try that one? Please do let me know in the comments. But yeah, I just thought that'd be a nice thing to do while I was doing one thing, quickly go through my books, do a bit of a curation, clear a few off that I feel actually, and really look at my books and be like, have I kept these books because I want to read them, or were they just sort of impulse buys that I'm never going to actually get to? And yeah, I have actually cleared a fairly decent sizable chunk, which means one of these shelves is now going to be a lot more spacious, which is fantastic. Anyway, I hope you're all good, I hope you're staying safe, and until next time.